Wait, Mike, I can't see that shit on there. What do you mean? What do you mean, fuck black? Anyways, we are the Leg Kick Podcast. Wow, what a historic night of fights. Mike, you wanna, after your horrible comments that you just made off air, you want to lead us in?
All right. Well, yes, I do hate black people. I am an Uncle Tom, apparently.
He's
but
the king
this is
of the podcast.
man. I'm what's his name? Jason Whitlock. But this is Michael Asiffo. Oh, you should look him up. He's a great human being. This is Michael Asiffo, and welcome to the Leg Kick. I'm joined by these three awesome people. First, we've got one of the originals, David, and for the record, his name is pronounced Agbaire. All right, it's
Really?
not. Yeah, it's not a Gabufa baby or whatever.
Agbaire?
Yeah, David
David.
Agbaire.
Correct.
David, can you settle this in about 3 seconds, please? How do you pronounce it?
Agbaire, but I love Stefano's pronunciation so much that I think I'm going to use that for the pod. So, yeah. What's up, everyone?
All right, man. Then we've got Stefano, right? As I used to call him, Stefano Hosko.
No, you used to call me Hosko.
Oh, wait, Hosko. Yeah, Hosko. Stefano Hosko. And then he did correct me for a full-fledged 3 years. Known this guy 3 years. Didn't correct me one time. Then he comes on the podcast once. He goes, "My name is Stefano Hosko." And I go, "Hold on a second." I felt like Mr. Crab in the memes, where I was like, "Oh." Right? So this is Stefano. All right. And we've got the main attraction of our podcast, the lovely and talented Jeremy Bone Crusher Asiffo.
So,
I'm glad you audience members are find me the main attraction because I sit here and chime in every 30 minutes. But it's good to be in the building, feeling good, ready to discuss a great night.
Hey, yo, Jeremy, your skin is looking extra glowing today. I just want to say that out loud.
Respects, dog.
Also, I thought Michael was Bone Crusher. Is Bone Crusher just like the Asiffo name where
no,
like
Bone
and
Crusher,
Michael share?
Bone Crusher is Jeremy because he sounds like that rapper from the early 2000s. Attention, that guy. Anyways, are we just gonna sit here and compliment each other and kiss each other's ass for an hour? I don't think so. This is too positive. I don't like this vibe. Jeremy, your skin's nice. Michael, you're so pretty.
I'm just saying, when a man's skin's glowing,
You performed so well on your last math quiz.
All right, yeah,
I don't care.
you're right.
I'm here to make fun of you guys. And what happened yesterday? Mike, before we get into the fights, made a little comment. It was Mike's prone to hyperbole sometimes. And sometimes his jokes land, sometimes they don't. But sometimes he will just say something that honestly everyone who's heard it feels a little stupider for having heard it. So the other day he was trying to describe Mackenzie Dern and he said that she looks like a baby duck coming out of an egg looking up at the sun. Guys, do either of you know how Mackenzie Dern looks like a baby duck coming out of an egg looking up at the sun?
I mean,
She has that weird.
she got a round bottom. I get it.
What does that have to do with having a round bottom?
No,
the
it's
duck's
just
head-
all I'm saying is she has that weird, like, every time she like is smiling, she's got that weird white girl look. Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
David, he tried to come. You tried to come in and rescue him. You tried to come in and give him no. I see it. Like the eggs, like her bum. Like no. This guy.
I have that comparison. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Anyways, I thought these guys would find it funnier. So we have a new segment today. If you guys haven't been informed, it's Bad Takes of the Week. So we're gonna get into news, a couple of fight announcements. One of which was actually confirmed. The Magumba versus Stiopic is set for. When is that set for?
I just want a real quick precursor right now. Is this bad takes of the week gonna be Stephen A? Is it gonna what? No, I was gonna ask. Is it gonna be Stephen A. Rampant?
Stephen A. Rampant?
Or Stephen A. Redden? I don't know. Is it gonna have a lot of Stephen A. in it?
Is what gonna have Stephen A. in it?
The bad takes of the week. What do we?
No. I'm for now. I think there will be Stephen A in the future. For
Of
now,
course,
I
of
just
course.
scoured the depths of Instagram. Like I was going into, convenience store microwave and scraping the crusty cheese that's been there for a month off of the side of the microwave. These are the kind of bad takes I have for you guys today.
All
Just
right. Can't wait. All right.
bottom of the barrel
Wait.
filth. If you like your cringe, you'll like these takes. This is some grade A classic cringe. Just perfectly seasoned. So first fight announcement: Stiopik versus Magumba, March 27th. It's official, and Stipe is once again the underdog. No love for my boys.
How?
Right?
That's crazy. That's kind of disrespectful.
All right, I'm gonna
Wait,
bet my house.
are
on
odds
this.
makers racist?
To white people
Yes.
or Croatians, they're all Albanian. The odds makers, they're like, you don't know what? Who's Croatian?
No, man, but I feel like this is a common theme. I mean, you know what? What's not being said about this? I think that, yeah, Stiopik is definitely the favorite. Mugumba has to show that he's done a much better job wrestling. And, yeah, we'll see. I hope Stiopik does not go out and try and, like, box him up. Although maybe he does, because Stiopik can actually box.
He did box him up the first fight for large portions of it.
Not large portions, but when they
Sure,
did
yeah,
stand, he was
made
winning.
him swing at air for a lot of the fight, and
Not
then
Not
every
for
time-
a lot of the fight, but
every
like
time-
proportions, yeah.
every time Magumba would swing hard back at him, he'd punish him with a leg kick or a jab. But I don't know. Early thoughts on this fight, Jeremy? Jeremy, you're muted.
Jeremy's on mute.
All right. Sorry about that. I forgot to press the unmute button.
This is the level
My bad.
we bring to
So well.
Geez, you know what? It's up in the air. I really deep in my soul, I want Ngannou to
No. His name is not Ngannou. His name is Magumba.
Magumba.
Okay?
You can say
I would-
Magumba or Ngannou. You can't
No,
say
of course, it's Ngannou.
really. You want me to be a part of this ridiculousness?
yes.
All right.
Doesn't
All right.
matter.
And, wait, okay. What was Miocic's name again?
Yo, pick.
Look, I said again twice. I'm freaking out here. Okay. I'm not doing that crap. Look, Magumba versus the white boy. I want the white boy to go down, not in a racist way, just in I want the black guy to win. But
Well, Jeremy basically exposed his whole strategy for picking fights.
no, wait, you didn't let me finish here, buddy. But not only that, I want to see the maturation process. I told you guys before, I want a Mike Tyson of the UFC heavyweight, and he's the best prospect to do it. And I want him to start his legacy by taking out the giant. But I don't know. I want to believe it in my heart, but I think if I had to pick right now, I would say Miocic is. I wish I could say it. Stipe Miocic. I just see him. I see him with the edge. I do.
See, I'm with you because I think Ngannou can really set off an African invasion of MMA if he wins and strings up a long, lengthy, dominant run at heavyweight.
You forgot we
Right,
already
but-
have two African champions, by the way.
Well, that's true. That is
Yeah.
true. But like a lot of them come from the diaspora, right? There's no pure African guys, right?
Oh, wait, so you're saying Nigerians aren't African?
No, what I'm saying is
David,
How
that
dare you?
hold on.
Come
What
on.
I'm saying, hold on. Time out, guys. Israel Adesanya is a New Zealander of Nigerian descent. Well, he was born in Nigeria.
Born in Nigeria, goes back to Nigeria and does a lot of work with the youth there, training them in MMA.
That doesn't
Same with
necessarily
Kamaru
mean
Usman.
it's a diaspora. That doesn't mean necessarily.
You're
That's still
the same-
classified
you're-
diaspora. What do you
How
mean?
is that any different? How's that any different from Francis Ngannou, who was born in Cameroon, moved to
Because
France,
he spent
literally
his
over a decade?
formative years in Cameroon.
Look at Mike. Mike's the gatekeeper for African people. You know, he gets to decide
Yeah,
who.
what is this?
No. But I have to.
I'm not saying.
I have
I'm
to
not
agree with
saying
Michael
it-
though. Like whenever we look at any type of fighter, where we say they're from is where they spend their formative years. Like even when they do it with boxers, it's all about where you're from, where you learned how to box. I'm pretty sure Adesanya learned how to kickbox in New Zealand, so he's
Yeah.
technically his formative
Well,
MMA
so,
years.
hold
Francis
on.
Ngannou-
Ngannou learned how to
Ngannou learned how to-
kickbox in France, so it's.
Right.
But what I'm saying is And where
Cool.
were they in high school? Where were they in elementary school? Israel
What is that?
Adesanya, New Zealand. Francis Kamaru Usman, USA. Ngannou, Cameroon. That's
Just for
all
the
I'm saying.
record, Michael added the African aspect of it. I just want to see a dominant heavyweight who's like a punisher. I just want to see a punisher. Right now, it's
Black.
not. Look, what? I'm gonna hate the fact that he's black. It's a bonus. What are you talking about? Come on.
So now that I've endured these racist takes for long enough, Mike gatekeeping Africanness, Jeremy saying, I only want the fighter to win if he's black. That's about it. White fighters, Asian fighters, brown fighters, be gone, be gone. Get knocked out by the Africans. Anyways, is it time to progress into bad takes of the week?
I thought we just did one.
Yeah.
Oh, we heard two. So this first one comes from just a random person on Instagram, but it was too bad for me to not pass up. So someone claiming that the Donald Cerrone fight was fixed with Conor McGregor, and this was before the fight happened. And I asked them, well, how so? And they said, one weird bump in the face, and Cerrone GFE up. Cerrone didn't even fight back. Not going to happen with a veteran like Cerrone. It was a bounce back fight to build McGur's, McGur's condescence. I'm guessing that's confidence. Condescence. It's way too obvious. Later that night, Dana White and sucked McGregor's cock.
What?
I think that was an ad lib.
No, there's no way that can be real. Did you really read that word for word? Hold on, let me take a look at that. Hold on, put it in clear. All right. Holy crap! That's
bad take. That's our first bad take of the week. So thoughts on this, on the McGregor Cerrone being fight being fixed, and Dana White and McGregor having some kind of homosexual relationship?
I think all of it is true, 100%. I think the fight was definitely fixed. I mean, who really gets hurt with a shoulder strike? Come on, duh.
No.
And also, Dana White definitely did suck McGregor's dick at the end of that fight. All right, come on, that definitely did happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic, but
No, Mike's dead
No,
serious.
stop. You broke it. Oh, I was just about to jump on too.
all right, sorry, my bad. Go ahead. Theater of the mind.
No. Not only is it fixed, Herb Dean is on the payroll too. All those guys.
He's
All
definitely
those guys are in on it.
Yeah.
And they sacrifice goats after they do all that.
A blood sacrifice?
David, why the eyes, guy?
I have nothing to add after sacrificing goats.
David, once he heard sacrificing goats, was like, "Oh my god."
David's like, I feel like I'm back in Nigeria.
Yeah, I was like, wait, only one of us was actually born in Africa. You want to talk about being the guardians of Africanness? I got you, Michael. Don't worry.
Feels like Lagos all over again. So, and then our second,
Stefano, we have to talk about your African accent. It's not good.
All over the place. All over the place.
normally,
one time you're from India, the next you're from Indonesia. Like, what's going on, brother? Please.
well, normally I like to have more. I will have more bad takes prepared, but for now, I think that was enough bad takes. I'd like to hear. I'll aggregate some more from the MMA media just about reactions to this Conor thing next week, because I'm sure there's bound to be a lot of terrible takes. But there you have it.
Oh,
Wait, you don't have? Come on.
One bad take.
You got more?
Yeah. Do you have
It's
more?
related
Come
to
on.
the Conor McGregor fight. I think Michael posted it in the WhatsApp group today. But I guess to get into it, we can talk a little bit about the fight that happened last night, right?
Yes. So, Poirier stopping McGregor with strikes.
Yeah.
Second round. What a fight. I don't
Couldn't
know.
happen to a nicer guy.
Could have happened to a nicer guy. I was blown away when this happened. A little shocked Didn't expect it to go down like this. I'm not going to lie. McGregor, to me, Poirier looked like he came in with answers for McGregor's game.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas McGregor, to me, looked like he came in just trying to show off his new tools, coming in that crouched boxing stance, trying to win a boxing match with Poirier when that's not really what got him to the dance necessarily. Seems like he got away from that high bouncing karate stance, still able to give Poirier trouble in those early rounds, but it seemed like Poirier was the one with the more worked out game plan.
Matt, David, what did I tell you? David, what did I tell you?
Wait,
He was gonna go for
I
a
have
takedown
a
early.
pretty comprehensive take about this one because when we talked about this fight in the preview, Michael was like, Poirier's gonna try and take McGregor down, and I was like, I don't see why he would do that.
Because he's a black belt?
I mean, yeah, but that's not his game. His game isn't like grappling. His game is definitely more of a striking, especially boxing intensive game. So
Yeah,
he's gone to takedowns in the past when he's needed to, though. Against Joe Duffy, he went for takedowns against Justin Gaethje just to wear him out.
yeah, but like first of all, I feel like the Justin Gaethje takedowns were kind of, I wouldn't say half-hearted, but they were kind of like let me switch it up takedowns, because that was a really striking, intensive match.
It was also a brutal fight. It was a real
exactly like it made sense why he was like he went for takedowns before Justin Gaethje went for takedowns. So whether that was like a scoring advantage thing or whether that was I want to tire him out thing or whether that was let me just switch it up thing, there's plenty of reasons why he went for that. But for this one, I wasn't expecting a grappling match because I truly thought like they were gonna have like a gentleman's agreement. Okay, let's do the best fight do the best fight possible. But what I found really interesting was it took him like what, a minute 30, 2 minutes to take him down. Like they start striking initially, and I think McGregor's winning the striking exchanges, especially in those first like 90 seconds ish.
Yeah.
Lens him up the center with that rising jab.
Yeah, man, like it was so interesting because once again, in the preview we were like, what's what are we watching? Or what was I watching for was the boxing, because McGregor has probably one of the best straight lefts.
I told
you.
Man,
no, it was interesting because once Poirier took him down, I feel like everybody's gonna say that it tired McGregor out.
I just think it ruined his timing because Poirier
likes to do
that. Yeah, because Poirier likes to do that shifting stance thing, right? Where he'll throw like his right hook or right overhand, switch stances in it, and then throw a left hook, right? And against Conor McGregor, that's super ill-advised unless you can screw up his timing.
He did it a couple. He did it a couple of times too after that and got away with it. And I mean,
he took him down.
Like, anything you can do to slow down a fast twitch fighter.
Yeah.
Anything to grind on them, to take them down, to make them stand up is advisable in my books. And like David said,
sorry, go ahead.
But once Poirier started slamming those low calf kicks in, it just
But even before that, before we even get to that, because I feel like a lot of people aren't even going to talk about the fact that McGregor won that first round. Like,
did he though?
Yeah, for sure.
I think so. I watched it back.
For sure, he will. Like,
I had Poirier win.
No, man. Like, okay, well,
I don't think. I think it was close. I don't think it was like. I think you could have gone.
It was close for sure.
I think what Poirier started doing a very good job of towards the end of that first round and into the second was he was doing a good job of making McGregor initiate exchanges, and McGregor tends to pick at you offensively, and then put pressure on you, pick at you, draw you out, and then slam in those hard straight rights and those counter combinations, that cross uppercut cross. But Poirier, for the early going, managed to get McGregor to go first. Ill-advisedly, some people might have said pushed himself up against the fence, but his head movement and his shoulder roll seemed to be working, and he would exit every single combination with that lead right hook. He would finish off, McGregor would miss, and then Poirier would hit him with that lead right hook.
And check right, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about that. I guess the way that McGregor. Sorry, I don't know what.
Well, to me, I think that the reason why the check right hook worked, especially in the second round, was because of the calf kicks. Because McGregor did a very nice adjustment when I was watching the fight back again. McGregor had a very nice adjustment by like because he got hit with the check right hook the first time, and the second time Poirier goes for it, McGregor's leg is still active and still not dead. So what he did was he really leaped onto the lead leg to avoid that check right hook, and then threw a left hand over the top that cracked Poirier. But as the fight went on and as those calf kicks kept going, right, McGregor couldn't really put pressure on that lead foot or lead leg. And so that check right hook.
Before we get to this lead leg, like, I will call it conspiracy, because I do think it played a factor, but
conspiracy.
I'm not accepting like it was like the significant turning event of the fight, because up until like the maybe last like minute or so of that first round, McGregor was, I wouldn't say in control of the fight, but it was a close fight, but he was winning the round. I think
no, he was, but that's the thing about leg kicks, right? Like, I think a great match for you guys to watch, for anyone at home, and you're into like 80s Muay Thai or 80s kickboxing, go watch Rick Rufus versus Cheng Pet Kisana Grit. Classic fight, because Rick Rufus is winning the early fights through movement, combination striking, etc., etc. And Chempek is known for a laser left and hard leg kicks. And so all he could really do at the end of those exchanges, because Rick was just having the superior movement, was slam in those great leg kicks, right? Great inside leg kicks, great outside leg kicks. And by the fourth round, Rick didn't really have an answer for it and was carted off on a stretcher. So I don't think it was like the first calf kick that did it. I don't think it was the second or even the third, but it's a cumulative damage. Again, it's water into the basement like a body kick. And the thing about it is, if you can hit it just right, it only takes one calf kick to be apocalyptic to your leg. Anyone who's felt it before, it deads your leg for like 2-3 minutes.
I have to agree, but the thing that the leg kicks did take away Connor's power on his right leg. But the reason why I'm in agreement with David on this one is because if you notice, Connor didn't lose any sort of confidence in the beginning of the second round. It was when they engaged in those flurries. It was like when they engaged in that flurry, it was kind of when Connor got dazed. I think it was a hook, right?
But the thing is, why was he engaging in a brawl for so long? That's not Connor's game.
Yeah.
It's because
I think it's related to, well, not only to the leg kicks, but also to what Stefano said. I think Dustin Poirier did a great job of counter striking Conor McGregor, which is something that not a lot of people can do because his timing is so good. As we were saying that, I actually thought of Max Holloway, how like Max Holloway will almost like slow the other fighter down and start like picking his shots and be so accurate that it seems like. Anyway,
well, I even think people got gifted a takedown. Sorry, go ahead.
Real quick. And just to add, I don't think it was so much the leg kicks that changed up McGregor's rhythm. I think it was the fact that Poirier was going for the takedowns
That's what I was going to say. I think the takedown also had something to do with it because, again, the switching of Poirier would be ill-advised. But if you look like you're going to take him down, then McGregor can't really go for he can't really jump on you when you switch stances. So
I think we're missing the point a little bit here, right? We're all looking at a cake, which was Dustin Poirier's performance, and trying to argue which ingredient makes the cake. Did the leg kicks have an effect? Absolutely. Did the takedowns have an effect? Yes. Did the counter striking as McGregor began to slow down and exiting those exchanges on the fence help as well? Yes. I think all of these played in as I think you're all correct, and I think all of these weapons played in as attritive factors, causing attrition to wear McGregor down to a point where he was forced to stand in these exchanges with Poirier, where Poirier excels with his hands. And one more quick thing, sorry, David. I just want to say, like, what, because I was asked by a couple of people, like, what could McGregor have done differently? And midway through the first and even into the second, he was leaping into counter left straight off of Poirier's low calf kick. I think starting that early and often would have been good, just as a nice deterrence, like, hey, every time you throw this calf kick, I'm going to knock you out. You're going to pay for it. I think as well, I would have liked to see more kicking out of McGregor because
Yeah, thank you.
it
Okay,
almost
so
it seemed like he's forgetting that look, you're not just boxing isn't your only thing. It's a good aspect of your game, but it's the blending of you're a karate boxer more than anything. And the range that McGregor generally excelled at, it's not pocket range. He's not a pocket fighter.
But
yeah.
and that was gonna be what I was gonna say. I think once again, it's related to the fact that Dustin Poirier did a really good job of making Conor McGregor fight his game. At the end of the day, it turned into a brawl, as you said, Michael, which isn't Conor McGregor's fight. I think one thing that we were talking about in the preview is how Conor McGregor does a really good job of almost like cutting the cage, and putting pressure on fighters, and it was going to be interesting to see how Dustin Poirier was going to deal with that, because it wasn't going to be the same as Justin Gaethje, who's going to nose on your chest, put that pressure on you. But what I found really interesting was Poirier did a really good job of almost not rope-a-doping, but like soaking up the pressure and then reversing, whether it was through grappling, whether it was through movement, like especially in that last exchange, like it was almost like. And that's why I don't like to take that. Oh, Conor McGregor did this so bad, and that's why he.
No, I know.
Like,
I
yeah,
don't think he was
but
bad.
I think he could
I
have
don't think he
fought a
was bad.
cleaner fight. Yes, but once again, Dustin Poirier didn't let it be a clean fight. I just think that it was a case that he got sucked in, he got caught, and there she
Well,
wrote.
I don't think. See, don't misunderstand me. I don't think Conor McGregor was bad at all. Like, I think his left hand was as fast as it's ever been. I thought he was as athletic as he's ever been. I just think there was a lack of diversity in his game from what he's used to. And to be fair, that's not necessarily a rusty thing. That's just a falling in love with certain aspects of your game thing. Like Max Holloway, I said 2 fights ago against Alexander Volkanovski, was just throwing hands all of a sudden, and was like, no, that's not the Max I remember. That's not the Max who like wins. And I think what happened is he fell in love with the hands after he beat Brian Ortega to a pulp. This for Conor McGregor, I think, was that aspect. I think he fell in love with his hands after he I don't know when, but if I had to speculate, it's the Floyd Mayweather fight. I think it was after the Floyd Mayweather fight, he kind of fell in love with the hands a little bit. Now,
it's the whole Fedor's like syndrome where you're knocking people dead with your hands, but that's as a result of the other aspects of your game as well, right? Ronda Rousey, there's another one, right? Like these things that you're having success with work as
because of the other
piece
things.
of a greater whole. Yeah, it works together as a system.
See, like he threw a spin kick once, and I would have liked to see him go for it a little more because he throws those spin kicks to lead into the left. Sorry to cut you off, Stefano, but
no, yeah, he throws those spin kicks as well as kind of hurting weapons to cut off the movements. It's just Poirier made a couple of bold choices as well, and McGregor had his moments in the fight. Like I thought his lead hand looked very good. He was, in that sense, he may have been prepared to face a southpaw, but he just looked thoroughly unprepared for those low kicks and for several other aspects. Well, I wanted to ask you guys, how did you feel when? First of all, credit to Poirier for his finishing instinct, because when he had McGregor hurt, he jumped on him immediately. And even while that exchange was going on, I'm like, okay, McGregor's wild. He's got something up his sleeve. Any second he's going to swing back, something's going to happen, and it just never came, and he went unconscious. What were you guys thinking at that moment?
I thought McGregor just didn't I thought he was going to exit out at some point because he was dodging the shots and rolling with it well until that check right came. It's not really a check right if it's in the middle of a stringing combination, but that short right hook came. I thought he was doing pretty well up against there, but he just never left that position. And so I was like, no, something's off with his movement. Like, especially since he backed himself up to the cage. Like, people forget, he got hit with the calf kick, turned himself up against the cage, up against the fence, and that's when the flurry started. So I was like, there's something wrong. And so I think it was the leg that was affecting him. My thing with the fight, though, was I think it was super high level in the sense that Poirier just did a lot of things to outsmart him. The takedown to allow his game to work, right, by staying low. The shoulder roll, especially at the end of the first round, where he just did that shoulder roll twice, just a roll. Like, very smart. The check right hook. Donnie made a great point when we were on a call yesterday that Poirier, while he fights in southpaw, is actually right-handed. So that check right, it hurts more than the usual southpaw check right. he just did a lot of smart things. And I think a lot of people are going to say McGregor was rusty. McGregor didn't look the same. I don't think that's what it was. I just think at every turn, Poirier and Matt Brown and the company at ATT
You
had
mean,
a game plan.
like Thomas Brown? You said
It's
Matt.
not. Oh, did I say Matt Brown?
Yeah, you said Matt Brown.
Oh, like the immortal Matt Brown. My bad. But but yeah, like I think all those guys really just had a solid game plan for what McGregor wanted to do and what McGregor was about, and they really just took advantage of it. But you know what? This is why you gotta learn to check those low kicks, and especially if you're a southpaw, it's
Well,
not nature to you. But
the thing is about the low kick, from what I understand, checking it's not really an option because of the angle that it's coming in and how low it's coming in. If you raise your leg, to check it, it's going to be hitting you around the ankle and the foot, which is not the best outcome. I think you got to step into it or you got to step out of it.
There is a way to check it. Like, this is the thing. You kind of have to step and turn. Like, it's weird because I've done it before. You just step and turn, and it's a weird lesson to learn. But if you can step and turn, you actually what ends up happening is you meet them knee for shin. What's that weird sound in the back?
Pause. Yeah, what is that sound?
What sound?
There's like a
beep that keeps happening.
Is it like did it like over and over again?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, I think David's hearing my WhatsApp.
Oh.
But there's another sound that keeps coming, which is like yeah. Let's talk about the production errors live.
Sorry.
Don't worry, we'll cut that out. We'll cut that out.
No, can we draw more attention to them? Let's draw more attention.
Hilarious. No, I was gonna say, just jumping on Michael's point or jumping on Stefano's question. Yeah, honestly, I thought McGregor made a conscious decision to go into the brawl. I thought you never know sitting on the outside, but I felt like he felt comfortable, and he was seeing the shots. He took a couple shots from Dustin Poirier, and he didn't seem too phased, especially in the first round, and then in parts of the second round as well. So, when he got into that final exchange, I generally think I think that leg kick spun him around. Sorry, spun him around. A couple hooks got him. He tried to escape a couple times, and he got clocked. And yeah, once again, Dustin Poirier did that thing which he does really well, which is he doesn't throw boxing punches like a lot of MMA fighters where it's like ones or twos or even like threes in his combos. Like, he throws like 5, 6, 7, how many it takes. And he doesn't even,
when he has you hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, and especially when he has you hurt. And what's interesting, he doesn't just go, oh yeah, I'm gonna headhunt and I'm gonna throw, straights and hooks. Like, he's like, no, I'm gonna throw to the body. I'm gonna go upstairs. Like, I'm gonna switch up the rhythm. Like, man, as soon as he got him hurt, like, I was like, I don't know if Conor McGregor, with all due respect, has the defensive skills to get out of this position.
Yeah.
Especially when he has him backed up against. It would be one thing if it was like Conor McGregor has like the rest of the cage to move up, but when he's like closed up against the cage, like, I don't know, man.
But ironically, Poirier realistically only landed 4 punches in that exchange, and 2 of them were hooks.
Only landed 4 punches. That's a lot for a high level. Being able to land 4 punches within a certain exchange.
No, but like, think about how many he threw, right? Like,
he threw a lot.
Yeah, so
he swarms. He swarms and is vulnerable to get hit in those positions, but his finishing instinct is second.
Yeah.
So to be fair, then, like,
a lot of the dialogue, not just on this podcast, but around MMA platforms, is gonna be about Conor McGregor and what he did wrong. But Conor didn't do too bad. I think it's just this night was all Poirier. I really do. I think it was all Poirier. Yeah, I'm like.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was a great game plan.
I was so impressed that I went back and watched the McGregor Poirier one, and if Poirier would have fought the way he did before, as soon as McGregor would have started piecing him up in the early goings of the first round like he was doing, Poirier would have panicked. It maybe would have been as noticeable, but you would see that he would get outside of himself. This was impressive in the sense of where even when he was getting touched up, and he was getting touched up a lot, in my opinion, did never get outside himself. And I saw that as soon as he went for the takedown. I was like, come on. And when I was seeing it, I was like, saying to myself, come on, Dustin, stay in it, stay in it, stay focused. And he did just that. And he got outclassed in the early goings of the fight in the boxing arena, but then came back and used, like what Stefano said, the entire he used all the ingredients to bake the cake to get to put him to outclass Connor in boxing, eventually to end the fight.
I just want to say something related to what Jeremy said. Another thing that I loved watching is just Dustin Poirier, or I found it interesting. Let me not say love. Dustin Poirier is so calm. Yeah, where is it?
You hear that?
Like a chopper interference. Dustin Poirier is so calm in between the lines, I guess, whatever they call it. You know, in between the cage and whatever that UFC.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like that.
Man, like he is
Call
okay.
it the warning track.
Yeah, man, he's okay with his back to the fence. He doesn't panic at all. Like he stays so calm in a way that I don't see like a lot of other fighters do it. Yeah, but that's something that stood out as well because he spent a significant amount of time being hunted with his back to the cage, but he did a good job. And when, you know, as I said, did that rope-a-dope kind of thing. Yeah, but I thought it was really interesting.
But see, that's the thing. I don't want people to think Conor McGregor was bad at all. I don't think he was bad. I just think the only thing I would say is diversity of strikes, because
diversity of strikes, yeah. It seemed like he didn't game for Dustin as much as Dustin's team gamed for him. But I wanted to talk about how this fits into the larger lightweight title picture. But before we can do that, I think we need to discuss the co-main event. Michael Chandler announcing that he has arrived. Knocking out. Look at Mike. Mike's so happy. Mike wants to see nothing more than Dan Hooker getting knocked out.
Oh, stop.
Jessica I missing weight. He lives for these things.
No, listen.
Awful human.
Wait, Stefano.
I like Dan Hooker.
Stefano, have you heard Michael's most recent Jessica I rants?
Oh, it's awful.
Oh man.
It's not awful. It's a little horrible. It's a little seething, but it's not.
It's a cold take. But anyway.
Anyway, yeah, no. What a fight.
We'll get to her.
We'll get to her. I don't know. What a knockout, really.
A knockout. Dan Hooker. It's interesting because usually he's able to get away with that. He'll just take a lap around the cage sometimes when he's being pursued just to get the pressure off. And usually what you're supposed to do to like body shots and leg kicks are always a good idea when somebody's trying to circle like that. Now, it seemed like Chandler wasn't so much using body shots to cut him off as like actually throwing them to hurt Dan Hooker. And one right straight too many, the hands came down, and then he leapt into range with that left hook, and that was all she wrote.
Man.
Okay, real quick, guys. You know how Poirier has like a defensive tactic, right? He'll throw up a shell, right, or a shoulder roll, and you know how Conor McGregor has like his pull, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know how Israel Adesanya will have a pull into a switch stance and then a hook after, right? You know how everybody has like a defensive tactic that they commit to memory. No, okay. You know how everyone has a defensive tactic that they can commit to memory. What's Dan Hooker's?
Framing.
Yeah, putting his hands down.
That's what did him in, because the second he framed him and tried to kind of corral Michael Chandler a little bit, that left hook came over the top, and it was masterful.
It's an interesting. Well, the fight itself is not that long, but a couple of things. I was watching and just already watching Dan Hooker's defense, just because Michael makes this point every single week. And first of all, I think Hooker was moving around too much, in my humble opinion. I get circle away from the power, but he didn't stop the entire fight. Like every time he stopped was to throw something, and then it was instantly he was circling away. It was almost like he didn't want to exchange with him. Especially as the longer fighter, it was an interesting tactic to use that. Just because I think it was Michael Chandler who threw the teep in the fight as opposed to
well, it was more like a this is Sparta front kick, but
Yeah, like a foot stomp, like he was like he's like the police trying to like break down the door or something. Another thing also was Chandler was throwing that straight to the body, and he threw it in a bunch of combination. He threw it, a straight single, then he would throw it, a straight fake go to the right, fake go to the top. He would throw it straight, actually go to the top, and it would get blocked. Then he would throw it straight, wait, and then switch up the timing. And then he also threw it straight and then hit him with the left. And the left is the one that got him. I just found it was almost like he calculated how to hurt this guy mid-fight. Because he was like, this guy's not going to exchange with me. I'm going to have to do something. And yeah, I just feel like Dan Hooker missed the trick with this one. I thought like the trick was to be technical, and not to say like he wasn't being technical, he was being smart, but was to if you want to, I don't know how to do it, but like
he conditioned
the
him.
right strategy for this
Dan
thing.
Hooker to. I think that's what happened. Michael Chandler conditioned Dan Hooker to a certain defensive reaction, and then something happened. And then
He started the fight like that, Mike. That's what I'm saying. Like literally, the fight starts and Dan Hooker's circling to, I guess, his right, away from Michael Chandler's right, like instantly. And he is closer. Like he is the longer fighter. Like I get it. Like the guy has a ferocious right, and we saw what happened. But it was almost like he was so afraid of it, like he didn't even fight his game.
I mean, yeah, just to build off something David said, movement's not necessarily wrong and not wanting to stay in the pocket, but it seemed like Hooker in a lot of ways was moving, almost running away from the pressure. And sometimes you've got to stop, decelerate, switch directions, throw a couple of straight shots in there as a deterrent, and then keep on your bicycle. But sometimes Dan Hooker will do this thing. He kind of did it against Paul Felder, and it worked against Paul Felder because Felder, good hitter, his feet are kind of slow. It seemed like his answer to the pressure was almost just to take a full lap around the cage. And Chandler was chasing him, which is technically not what you're supposed to do. But he was fast and athletic enough to catch up with him at a certain point,
Yeah.
Yeah, he started timing him. Sorry, I was just going to say he started timing him. And also he started getting a defensive reaction. So that's why he was throwing those straights, just so that he could see how does this guy defend the straight to the body? When does his arms come down? Will I be able to get in with the right, or is it better for the left? And it was almost like it took him like 2 minutes to figure it out, and he got it.
Yeah, it's and you know what? It's a high level of skill to be able to build off of a technique like that within the fight. And circling the cage aside, it's always a good idea to hit the body against a taller, leaner fighter. One, because their head's farther away. You need to get their hands to drop. But also just, because of their long stretched out body, you can potentially hurt them. But yeah, I was very surprised at this fight because for all his defensive flaws, Dan Hooker's got he's got a chin on him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know what? So I'm curious. Now that Chandler signed to the UFC, what do you guys think about signing Ross, Joey, Phoebe, and Rachel?
I see what you did there, and I hate it. I see what you did there, and I hate it. But have you heard about the talks for the next for the vacant title fight? If Khabib vacates the final, which is such a hilarious sentence.
It looks like he's going to.
Yeah.
I thought he retired.
Yeah, me too. I think he has retired. Just Dana White's like, come on, Khabib, you got to come back. We need the foreign markets, please.
Listen, the only fight I want to see with Khabib is GSP. I don't need to see any other fight. You'll need to convince me of anything else.
I wouldn't mind seeing Khabib versus Charlie Olives.
I don't mind it, but I think
as a stylistic matchup, will it happen? Yeah. Probably not. But would I like to see it? Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Also, 40-year-old GSP. As much as I'm a fan of him, and I can never get enough GSP, he's like heroin for me. I don't know, man. I'd like GSP to walk into the sunset myself. But in the meantime, that leaves at the top of the division Poirier, Chandler, Ross. Who else?
My God.
Charlie Olives, Tony Ferguson,
Gaethje,
Islam Makhachev. Wow, it just keeps coming. And Diego Ferreira, Islam Makhachev. I said Benil Dariush, Kevin Lee.
Hold on. Isn't Benil Dariush? Apparently, Benil Dariush is fighting somebody else, right? Who was he fighting again? Sorry. Like he's fighting somebody in a couple of weeks. Was it Diego Ferreira? I think it was Diego Ferreira.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a banger.
Yeah. So there's a couple good ones coming up. This is one of the weird times where I'm like, it's okay. You don't necessarily have to rush a lightweight championship fight just now. You don't have to rush anything because there's a lot of guys who, you can make matchups with and be legitimate numbered pay-per-view main events, and you're okay. You don't and you don't need a belt to justify it. Like you're okay. Gaethje versus Oliveira, that's a fun fight. Poirier Chandler, if Poirier is interested, which apparently he is not.
He's not.
That's a fun fight. He's not interested because the theory behind it is Poirier just beat Hooker, right? If Chandler beat Hooker, does it really justify a title shot? Like it's like that's his thinking, which I understand. It's not terrible, but whatever. He's not interested. But let's say, there's a lot of fun fights up and down this. Makhachev versus anybody, I think, is a fun and interesting fight.
Here's what I say. Go Chandler Gaethje for PFL versus Bellator. And then we do Poirier versus Charlie Olives. I like that one. And that 4-fight bracket from then, we decide who's the champion in a little tournament format.
Right. Oh, and maybe Islam Makhachev's an alternate in case somebody doesn't want to fight.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Although, you know what? If Benil Dariush can beat Ferreira, he's a fun. I don't think he wins.
Those two guys are dark horses. Those guys are dark horses. Right. With both of their jiu-jitsu, both of their world-class jiu-jitsu.
Man. Like that's a fun fight. The thing with Ferreira though is he couldn't knock out I wouldn't say, it's not Colby Covington level in concerning, but it's one of those like he has no power. So like
I say no power.
But it's not.
He hurt Pettis on the feet.
Did he though, or was Pettis just like 1 foot out the door at that point?
I don't know. But anyways, there's that. And you know who I'm also excited for at 55, climbing up the ranks in 2021, making a stamp on the division. How about a little guy named Rafael Fiziev?
Yeah. But he's not top 15 level. Who's he fought?
He will be by the end of the year, mark my words.
Probably.
Top 10. So
I love that old school Muay Thai though.
Yeah, me too. So anything else you guys want to say about this or the future of the division or anything like that?
Man, Dan Hooker's got to switch up his defense. He's super talented, and he's fighting.
I love when I brought this up. You guys made fun of me, and
you're right because I thought it was ridiculous. Huh? I thought you were like hyping, but like I've gone back and watched that fight, and man, like he was so I wouldn't say naive, but like man, it like his instincts led to him being knocked out, I guess, because his instinct was to put his hands down and frame, I guess, as you guys called it. And yeah, what's his name? Chandler read that like a bug. Chandler is undersized, in my opinion, he's like what, 5'9"?
5'8".
5'8". He's a little
every bit of 155 though.
No, he's huge and super ripped and stuff, but he's a little undersized. It's gonna be interesting to see how he, fights against some of the taller fighters. I think like what Charlie Olives is like 6 foot, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Somewhere in there, 6.
Yeah, so like some of the other fighters who are able to like keep him a little bit more on the outside, and
but all
also
the taller
like,
fighters in this division though. All the taller fighters in this division, though, are allergic to pressure, right? Like
Charlie Oliveira showed some good answers to pressure in the Kevin Lee fight. We'll have to see. Also, if he can engage in wrestling, I mean, you might rate Michael Chandler's wrestling as excellent, but I remember Charles Oliveira upsetting Will Brooks when he came to the UFC. Another excellent wrestler. So we'll have to see. Charlie Olive's dangerous from all areas, so that's an interesting little scrapperoo there.
Yeah.
And then we're not even talking about Cindy Dandois.
What what is your beef with? We all have a fight we have a beef with. I just found that out because mine is with the next fight on this card.
Yeah, Mike hates JoJo Calderwood.
No, I love JoJo Queen of Knees. Queen of
Mike
Knees.
hates women. That's it. It's not that he hates JoJo Call. He just hates women.
Don't
Fair.
all conservatives, David?
Yeah, and I think all religious conservatives, right? Like
Religious people generally, I would extend.
I would say, especially all castrated religious conservatives, right?
Mike's
Oh,
castrated.
Jesus.
Mike, can you run over and wake up Jeremy, please?
Are we really gonna start this again? I'm just
Oh,
drowsy.
Jeremy, you're awake. Wow. Okay. Awesome. Anyway,
I'm just drowsy eyed. That's it. We're not doing this anymore. Okay, we're not doing this.
Jeremy, say
Jeremy,
something.
hold on.
What?
I'm trying to make a take. Okay.
Listen, no, you guys, listen. I'm not gonna say anything after you guys do all that in depth. Like you guys explained to me. I was gonna say, yeah, he came out. He was real energetic. And, but to be honest though, that knockout by Michael Chandler was spectacular. Like I know that Dan Hooker's talented, but I just thought, wow, okay, so I guess now it's gonna be Poirier and Chandler. But if Poirier's not interested, then what do I really have to be excited about? That's what I was excited about from last night.
Good to know you're awake, Jeremy. But
Good to know you're a piece of
That was funny, man. That was funny.
garbage.
excellent.
I hate you, man. I hate you.
All right. Okay.
Excellent knockout, though. Absolutely, it was devastating, and nobody's ever put Hooker out like that.
No, it was my favorite. It was my favorite knockout of 2021 so far. So
I mean, it was violent.
no, I loved the slip and then the straight right. And coming from the fact that it was a shorter guy, he had to punch up. I just liked the way it looked. I like the fact that, like you said, I actually thought it was kind of stupid the way he kept staying in range, the way he kept pressuring him, getting in his face. I was like, eventually you're gonna want to back off. He might clip you, buddy, but he didn't, and the way he saw that punch and then returned across. I thought the knockout was spectacular. The rest of the fight, all the stuff surrounding the knockout that came before the knockout, I can't really analyze that too much. It's not really in my wheelhouse, but the knockout for sure was definitely entertaining.
So before this, we had a nice intermission fight for you to get your popcorn. That was Jessica Ai versus Joanne Calderwood.
It's Jojo.
During this fight, I went and got a bowl of soup. I got some nachos. They were delicious. What do you guys think about this fight?
We all have that. We all have that fight on the card that we use the
Yeah,
halftime.
this was my mid-card nap.
Your halftime.
This was during my mid-card nap, so I can't say that I watched this one. I'm gonna be honest.
Joanne Calderwood, both of these women just looked a little bit sloppy. Joanne Calderwood landing with frequency with strikes in the clinch, but
Yeah.
just not wanting to move her head. And she'd throw her head out of position after throwing a 1-2, like leaning over her. It was just an odd fight. It was an odd fight.
Jessica Ai is just not very good. I hate doing this. I'm not good. I told myself I wasn't gonna slander her.
Wow.
I told myself I wasn't gonna slander her again after I slandered her last time.
FYI, Jessica Ai broke up with Mike in high school. That's what's going on here.
I believe it.
Dude, on Friday I put a flamethrower on her in the preview, and I felt bad about it a bit because I went back and I was like, you know what? I don't feel bad about what I said, but how I said it and some of the things I said, I think I was like, you know what? I went a little too far.
Wait. Michael sounds like he's apologizing to his girlfriend right now, but keep going.
Jess, if you're out there, Mike's sorry.
That should tell you the nature of this relationship.
Yeah, it's not what I said. I mean, I stand by everything, but how I said it, I could have been more sensitive. I get you.
Yeah, Mike, that's no way to get back in Jessica's good books.
No, it's not even. Look, I couldn't care less. I really couldn't care less about her good books. What I'm trying to explain though is, I just felt really horrible. Like, I felt really horrible about like the point I was trying to make is, as a person who worked in media, I get really defensive when people blame the media for things that necessarily aren't their fault. So I got real upset, right? Like real upset. Especially since she did have trouble making weight. Now apparently she had a gallbladder issue, right? When looking at it, that was functioning at 7%, which is like, I felt so. All in all, I was gonna apologize. With that being said, she's not very good at, like, that was just not a very good performance at all, right? Just Jesus, standing in the way of shots, not finding angles, not using any kind of level change. When you did have her up against the fence, going with that one note, just double leg, trying to will a takedown when you really can. You should mix it up with some strikes back into there. Like, it was just a bad fight. And
these are the women who are going to get the next shot against Valentina. I just want to remind you.
Please no.
God.
Like,
so, before the popcorn break, I believe was
Muradov versus Sanchez.
This was an interesting one. Sanchez put on a decent showing, I thought, not conceding boxing range to Muradov. Came out in that karate stance, which I forgot he started using, leaping in with 1-2s. Trying to kick out the lead leg early. Muradov able just to hunt him down in the late going and finish him, though. Seemed like he had a little bit of trouble with the movements of Sanchez early, but managed to get it done.
Yeah, no, it just seems like Muradov has a really good, like, he has that Peter Yan gene where it's like, as the fight goes on, they figure you out, and it's not necessarily even like a cardio thing. It's just, like, they just figure you out, and as it goes along, that's when you start to run into trouble.
These low volume fighters that just calculate you as the fight goes on, and then just find that opening for that shot.
Mm-hmm.
He's phenomenal, Muradov.
Yeah.
Much lower volume in the last fight than I saw him. I forget who it was he was against where he got that, sensational knockout in 2020.
Yeah.
He wants a top 15 as well. This guy looks good. I'm excited for him going forward.
I mean, why not him versus Allen? Like, that's a good match.
Arnold Allen, that's a good fight.
Yeah, that's a good fight. Why not?
Allen Arnold, I'd watch that fight.
Allen Arnold. But yeah, like, it was just a good fight. One thing about Sanchez, though, and his corner was making that point. They kept telling him round 1 and round 2, the right hand will find its place. Can you please put your hands up for that right hand? And eventually it got there, because it was just missing, but he was good. He was finding his timing on it, and that's how the ending sequence started. He hits him with that right, so it was just, they just have a knack of figuring you out, getting that timing going, and eventually, it was night for Sanchez. Oh, one interesting fact about Muradov, him and Floyd Mayweather are tight.
Really?
Yeah. Him and Floyd Mayweather, like, apparently every Christmas, Floyd Mayweather texts Muradov, asks how he's doing and how's the family and everything.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah.
That would explain the boxing skills.
Yeah.
Man, this card had a lot of Eastern European talent on it, doing quite well. And then before that was the other women's fight, I believe.
I think it was Ribas versus Rodriguez.
Ribas versus Rodriguez. This was a fun one.
I'm shocked.
Rodriguez stopping the hype train that is. Marina Rodriguez stopping the hype train that is Amanda Ribas. Wow. So there's something to be said for those tall, lanky fighters that just hit unreasonably hard.
Well, the thing is, Amanda Ribas was winning the fight. And then that fadeaway right, man. I'm telling you, fadeaway rights, they can do something, especially down the pipe.
Yeah. That first round was Ribas's for sure. Able to secure some takedowns and work from top, and then
What did you guys? Sorry, go on. Sorry.
No, finish. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what do you guys make of the finish? I wasn't watching this fight too closely, but I did see the end where Rodriguez has Ribas hurt. Looks like she's out.
It was
I mean, I
It
wouldn't
wasn't
say she's
bad.
out, but she is like hurt, like pretty bad. And we even see that thing we see with a lot of concussed fighters where they've been hurt, but their instinct is just to grab a leg. And Rodriguez literally like thinks she's won, steps away, but Herb Dean kind of like looks at her and is like, "What are you doing? The fight's still going on.
I
What do
think,
you
I
guys
think,
think
yeah,
of it?"
I think the big mistake was, and I rewatched this a couple of times. Herb Dean went to step in to get a closer look, kind of stumbled and touched, not Hebas, but Rodriguez, kind of stumbled and touched her, and she thought, once the referee stops you,
He
fight's
fights over,
over.
yeah.
And Herb Dean's like, no, I just lost my footing, but I didn't mind the stoppage.
Yeah.
And
No, I think what it was just closer look, because he was looking at Marina Rodriguez's back, right? And he wants to get that like angle to see
wait,
Hebas
hold
if
on,
she's.
Mike, what is that on your couch? Why is your couch such a mess?
Well, that's a
Look at this
TV
guy.
I'm gonna put up later.
A TV. He's got a bag. You know what? I just wanted to roast. I don't even want to hear about it.
Who are you, his mother?
Yeah.
Well, might as well be because Mrs. Asiffo's not telling him to clean his room. Disappointed. So, anyways, go on, Mike.
No, but yeah, no, I think it was just a case of Herb Dean wanted to get a closer look, and yeah, he just, like it's not a bad thing at all. Like I've seen other refs do it, and the fighters are just keep going, right? So I don't know if it's I don't know if it's just an accident. Like it's just a.
Yeah,
Are you sneezing in the middle of my take, sir? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's the respect
Bless you,
I have for your take. Honestly, I think the fight could have probably been stopped earlier, and I think Herb Dean. People complained about the stoppage, the second one, but I think it was clear that if you're seemingly hurt and every shot is just getting through, you don't seem to have any intelligent defense. I mean, not intelligently defending yourself when you're on the feet is the same thing as not intelligently defending yourself when you're on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem at all with the second stoppage. I thought it was just fine. And honestly, I think had Herb Dean not slipped, because it was actually funny because I didn't even realize he slipped till you just mentioned it. Had he not slipped,
He was going into Coppa Field.
that's what I thought when Michael said he wanted to get a closer look. But had he not slipped, I think,
not very feminist of you, Dave.
I know, right? I know, get my mind out of the gutter. But I think had Herb not slipped, like Rodriguez would have just continued pounding on Hebas. So
Yeah.
oh well, another hype train derailed.
Man, no, I really liked Amanda Hebas too. I thought she was gonna be good someday, but hey, you know what? There is still like it's a blip on the road, right? It's just a blip on the road. She can always, what's the word I'm looking for? She can always bounce back, right? And Marina Rodriguez, maybe this is a launching off point for her. She had a tough loss to Carlos Esparza, so I guess maybe she works on maybe some things here and there, and can get to like contendership status. So yeah,
Stefano, you're on mute.
Stefano's on mute.
Sorry. I was going to say I'm excited for both of them going forward, and I think 115 is in need of some new blood, not as desperately as other divisions, but I'm looking forward to following their careers. So, with that being said, I think we just wrapped up the main card. Mike, is Jeremy's take going? Do you want to go wake your brother up for Jeremy's take?
All right, yeah, let me go downstairs.
F you all three to the darkest parts of HE double hockey stick. No, I'm joking. I love you guys. Listen, the take is narcolepsy's a real no. Look,
That's good.
look, geez, I don't really have a take, but I do have some boxing news. Yesterday you had Stephen Fulton, who got the decision. I think it was a decision over Angelo Leo, and it was a slugfest. I only got to watch the highlights, but it looked like a slugfest based on the highlights. And this a lot of people talk about the welterweight division. A lot of people talk about the heavyweight division of boxing, but the featherweight division is actually a pretty exciting division. This was two undefeated fighters who came in, and it was kind of under the radar. But like, if you got a chance to tune into this fight, it was an absolute slugfest. It was awesome to watch, and Stephen Fulton, the favorite, He got the win over Leo. But it was great boxing. So it was just a cherry on a cake of great combat sports weekend. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Have we got any boxing coming
Stefano,
up in the next
Stefano,
couple of weeks?
why
And
you mute yourself?
why are you on mute, Stefano?
Why?
You're still.
I wanted to give respect to Jeremy's take. Mute myself so I wouldn't be tempted to interrupt him.
Ah.
I'm playing chess. You guys are just playing checkers. Anyways,
Or
yeah.
you could just not say anything as he's speaking. Like
Seriously.
Yeah.
I was about to say, no. He's only showing the respect so that way I could bring my guard down and then he could hit me with a boom. You're sleeping again. That's how he does.
I will hit him with one of those.
But next, just boxing news. Yeah, Caleb Platt's got a fight next week, so tune into that.
Ooh, I got some related boxing news. In bad takes. Can I just read really, really quickly Floyd Mayweather's response to Conor last night?
Okay, go for it, and then we're going to wrap this thing up.
Okay, really quickly. I seen this post, and my take on it is that the world knows con artist McLoser can steal everything from me and be loved, but I'm hated. That just lets you all know that racism still exists. Just know.
What?
That bum will never be me or be on my level. I'm just built different. My mindset is on another planet. My skills are second to none. I'm a natural born winner. And yes, I talk a lot of trash, but every time I back it up. This is what they hate. It's sad that you can be a poor black kid from the ghetto that has dealt with racism your whole life and work extremely hard to put yourself and your family in a better position. And most of the hate come from my own people. Conor cannot even win in his own sport, but talking about coming back to boxing to fight Pacquiao. Nobody wants to see that. It's like my leftovers eating leftovers. Reactions.
What the? What?
What an incoherent string of nonsense. What was that?
Wait, okay, the racism thing.
How did he make it a race thing? How did he manage to make that a race thing?
I want to talk about that. I find it so convenient he's talking about racism, yet he didn't support Black Lives Matter, and he also didn't support the Gucci boycott. So I don't understand.
Boycott Gucci?
Remember?
He didn't support Black Lives Matter? I didn't know that.
No, he didn't. And he didn't support the Gucci boycott when the Gucci got to that controversy where they had some racist clothing, right?
But man, I'm about to
Hold up, Mike. Hold up, Mike. Mike, I gotta interject here. I can't let you just throw dirt all on Floyd Mayweather's name because even though it's not it's not the same thing as going out and marching and using your platform to speak up. He did pay for George Floyd's funeral, so
Okay,
I know that he did that. But I agree with you guys. You know, like I get it. I get the point and the sentiment. However, this ain't it, dog. Like this isn't the time. Like you can't focus on the millions upon millions of people who do love you, who do respect you, who do enjoy your body of work. You have to compare yourself to this. And Michael, do you remember that little colorism video I showed you?
Yeah.
That reminds me of that.
What a whining child, though. Honestly, like something else was happening. You're like, guys, no, me. This is about me. Like, why are you upset at McGregor? He made you $300 million. Why are you sitting here crying, trying to make this loss about you? And you know what? He took his loss like an adult,
Like a champ.
like a champ. He analyzed what he did wrong, made no excuses about it, and Floyd's over here crying about, come on, man, come on. Racism, like, complain about the actual racism, systemic racism going on, and not, what does it have to do with Conor McGregor? I don't know. I'm not even going to begin to dissect this. It's just
I just find it so convenient. Every single benefit for black people. There's Mayweather standing on the side criticizing it, but the second Conor McGregor loses, he's like racism. Come on, man.
Fuck the Mayweathers. That's all I gotta say.
I don't know.
Great stuff. All right, Steph, don't take us away then.
Yeah.
The Raptors just beat the Pacers, so now they're 7-9, guys. Just thought you guys would want to know.
Oh yeah, they had like a rough start. And
We back.
yeah.
Yeah.
Champions of 2021. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, I think Kyle Lowry was out too. He has an injury. So.
Yeah. I was just informing our viewing public that the Raptors look like they might be back on track. That's all, you guys.
Wow,
Yep.
that's great, Jeremy. Thank you for that. Anyways,
You're welcome, sir.
Ooh, I gotta say this though. We actually have a huge basketball fan base on our show, right? Like people.
do we?
Yeah, we actually do. A lot of people like watch basketball who watch us.
Oh,
And those are all the people that
I
bullied.
have no idea why you're paying attention to us.
And
It's
those
weird.
were all,
I
and those
find it
were all
weird.
the people, and those were all the basketball players that bullied Stefano when he was just a wee little laddie.
Imagine getting bullied by a basketball player. If that happened, I would turn in my testicles.
All right, take us away, brother.
So, in this crazy, messed up world,
Oh, you're not gonna thread the children?
oh, I will. Where Jeremy's falling asleep. Okay, do you know what? I forgot. My mistake. Like, subscribe, tune into the podcast, tell your friends about it. We do this for you guys. We love you dearly, and we do this for you. But you know what? We can't afford, like your mother. We can't keep feeding and clothing you here for free. So if you don't subscribe to the Late Kick podcast and send us all your money, Jeremy will fall asleep on top of you. And that's all I got today.
Yeah, in a very non-sexual way too. So
No, very
able to get
sexual.
up.
Very sexual.
Listen. I thought we're threatening them, not inviting them with a good time here. No, come on.
I'm inviting them for some carnal sex with Jeremy.
Hey, yo, Michael, take us home, please.
All right. In this crazy mixed up world where I'm not gonna make a Jessica.
Where
Alba joke.
Stefano was having carnal sex with Jeremy? Got it. Okay.
I didn't say I would. He's gonna have carnal sex with the fans that don't, send us all their money. Anyways, in this crazy messed
I
up,
thought you were trying to get your mind out the gutter. Now you're friggin'.
in this crazy messed up world where Jeremy's constantly falling asleep and Mike has a TV and a bunch of random crap that he found on the sidewalk sitting on his couch, and David.
That's a 1080p TV for the record.
Shut up, Mike.
Anyway, okay.
David Agbaire is over here with a yellow filter on. You have three things. You have Mike's couch, you have Jeremy's narcolepsy, and you have David's filter. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Later.